Hi everyone, Alex is here from avwoodworkingstudio. In this project, I'm building walnut floating shelves. So I'm starting the project by making the rough cuts of the pre-dressed lumber. By the way, this is my first video with the voiceover and overall my third video on my YouTube channel, which is dedicated to my DIY woodworking projects. So I really hope you guys will like it. If you don't, feel free to hate me in the comments. Also, the links to all used tools and products you can see in the description below. So let's start working instead of talking. Hope you guys will enjoy this short video. So the rough cuts are done and the next step is to make the final cuts. And for that I'm gonna use my table saw with a slat and my 90 teeth cross cutting blade. Here I'm changing cross-cutting blade to 40 teeth universal one so I could do the rib cuts. I'm using a scrap piece of wood as a guide just to make sure that the length and the height are set it up correctly so I could go ahead with the rib cuts. And here is the fun part. I'm preparing epoxy to fill all the natural cracks and the holes in the wood. One of the most important steps in this process is to get rid of the air bubbles, and for that I'm using my torch to warm up the epoxy and to get rid of as much of them as I can. To make sure all the bubbles are gone, I'll need to repeat this process a couple of times during the first 25-30 minutes after the epoxy pour. As soon as the epoxy is hard enough to work with it, I'm using my scraper to scrape the excess epoxy, just to make sure that the surface is flat and ready for sanding. So the next step is to make the slots for the mounting brackets, and for this I'm gonna use my dowel jig as a drill guide just to make it easier and faster for me. And the last step in this process is to make the recesses for the plates. Of course, I could use my router with a template to have much cleaner cuts, but I prefer to make them manually. Anyway, no one will be able to see them as the recesses are gonna go all the way to the wall. After making sure that the mounting brackets are properly fitting, I move to the next step, which is the most boring step in the woodworking for me, and that is sanding. Here we go, and I'm sanding and sanding and sanding. What could be more boring? I went all the way from 120 to 320 grit, and I think this is the best result I could achieve. So that's it. I'm done with it. And here is the last step. I'm talking about finishing. I'm going to use the Rubio monocoat. I will apply it, wait for 10 minutes, buff it, wait for another 15-20 minutes, buff it again, and I think I'll achieve the result I'm looking for. And here is the final result. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If yes, please leave the thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to read them and answer all of them. Thank you. See you soon again.